Hey softball players, Dan Blewett here, and I want to go over a common drill that I think is overused and not very useful. So if you're a coach or you're a player and you typically do this drill as part of your warm-ups, you probably want to, if you're a player, not so much, but if you're a coach, probably look for an alternative, which I know I have tons of other drills on the web that hopefully can help you have a more productive warm-up. So the drill I'm talking about today is when we're either on our knees or we're standing facing our partner and we've got our elbows propped up and we're flipping the ball. So a couple things happen in the throwing motion. Number one, the old adage that you throw like a girl, which is not very nice, is the term, what we're describing when you do that is when our hips don't fire very well and our arm jumps in front of our body like this and then we push the ball. That's what that refers to. All right, so whether you're a boy or girl, we don't want to push the ball. So I'm just going to refer to it as pushing the ball. And again, pushing the ball is when our upper body doesn't allow our arm to sort of hitch up with our torso and go back with external rotation, which is a shoulder motion, and then forward with internal rotation, which is the opposite shoulder motion. So when we don't have a good synchronicity between our lower half and our upper half, when we're not rotating well, our elbow will jump ahead to do the job, and then we'll push it. So if you're throwing BP and you're just standing here, your elbow is always going to go in front to push it, because if you don't have any rotation from your hips as a coach, you can't do this. That's just like not how it works. Your body finds a better way to do it, and when you're throwing slow speed without use of your core and your hips, your elbow jumping ahead is a good way to do it. But a high level throw, a hard thrower does not throw that way. So when you field a ground ball, you fire it across the diamond, or you watch your favorite major league star throw a ball from shortstop or pitch off the mound, throw 98 miles per hour from the outfield, whatever, they don't throw like this. Their whole body is in it, their core rotates, their hips rotate, and their arm goes back and forward from external to internal rotation. So the reason you don't want to do this flips drill is because it's reinforcing this position of pushing the ball. And if we're just talking about like general warm-ups, it's like, oh, well, it helps them understand what getting behind the ball is. Okay, but you can still feel that from almost any other drill. I've been teaching throwing drills my whole life. I've been throwing my whole life. You can feel being behind the ball with a lot of other much more productive drills. Drills that don't reinforce this really ugly habit, which is probably the number one habit I'm trying to break as a coach, getting girls that come in that push the ball. So if you're doing the wrist flip drill, you're reinforcing them being in this bad position that we're doing to get the wrist warmed up or to feel behind the ball, which we can easily accomplish some other way. And I don't know why we're so obsessed with warming our wrists up. Like, how many wrist injuries do we have from throwing? Not very many. We have more shoulder injuries, we have more elbow injuries from bad throwing mechanics, which this drill ends up teaching. So I'd highly encourage you, without finding fault, just to quietly get rid of that drill. There's a bunch more that I'll have on my YouTube channel, my websites, that you can easily integrate with your players. They're just gonna be much more productive. They're gonna help them build long-term habits. And if you have nothing else, this is what I would encourage you to do. Have them act like they're fielding a ground ball, and then shuffle and just simply move their feet with every throw to their target. If they do that, because so much of their body's involved in moving, everything is gonna start to sync together and hitch up. The hips and the core, they're gonna rotate, and the arm is gonna go back in the way we want it to because of momentum and the way the whole body is moving. So if you did nothing else, just have your players throw every ball from a crow hop. It's way more effective than you'd think, all right? So just a quick tutorial of why I don't like the wrist flip drill and why I think there's a lot of better things we can do instead of it.